Blizzard is launching what it calls the Overwatch Workshop, a way to make custom game modes. A Overwatch RP, using scripting tools to mess around with game logic. It's a system lightly based on the scripting tools Blizzard uses to make the game, with a custom interface and additional systems layered on top. Game director Jeff Kaplan notes that the tool TAKSSOME programming, our game scripting, know how to use, making it a tool that game developers will no doubt be able to play around with to create their own interesting game modes and characters inside Overwatch. The feature is live on the PTO right now, the PC version of the game, but will eventually roll out to the full version of the game both on PC and console. Debugging tools, as well as a way for players to easily share the custom modes they make, are included in the workshop as well. Kaplan notes that the tool offers Overwatch players a way to create game modes, like a Flower is Lava-esque, Molten Flow map, or use the tool to prototype their own Overwatch characters and abilities. While the tool does require some prior scripting knowledge to get the hang of, Kaplan also says that has hopeful it will help introduce Overwatch players to game development as well. The full announcement is in the video above, but devs curious about the nitty-gritty details of the new tool will want to check out the explainer on how to use the Overwatch Workshop up on the game's website. With the success of Storm's Ray launch back in 2012, a number of game developers have been looking to take their own stab at the turn-based strategy formula, resulting in the surprising success of Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle in 2017, and in 2018, the release of Mutant Year Zero right before the holidays kicked off. Thanks in no part to a fun mouth-talking deck, Mutant Year Zero has managed to find an audience and a strong niche in the strategy game space, showing how even a stripped-back version of Com can do well with the right tone and sense of polish. We have been enjoying the game over at Gamasutra, and were excited a few weeks back when game director Liv Ollie, designer and studio founder David Scarry, and lead animator Kyle Granstrom took the time to talk about their work over on the DD Twitch channel. There were a few key insights from the trio about Mutant Year Zero's design and game balance, so we took the time to collect a lightly edited transcription of their most salient points. Read on for a look at how a bunch of Hitman veterans managed to make their own strategy game, Scaring, quite early on. From almost day one, we made the decision that we wanted to keep the stealth aspect as simple as we possibly could. The reason for that was we did not want the players spending any more time there than we needed to tell the story and let you explore the world. Because what we wanted to do was to do the stealth moments, or set up for combat, while you are in real time, so we could speed it up a little bit. But if we started adding too much functionality to that, it would just slow it down again, right? So we made a decision very early on that we wanted to keep the amount of game mechanics that you can utilize in the real time to the minimum, and keep it very very simple. So that's shown for instance in the attention circles that we use rather than any vision cones, or anything like that. We did not want people trying to sneak on a counter too much, or spending time doing that. Scaring, yet, exactly that was the choice. It was either that or giving them. Whenever you get discovered, you get a little leeway time, as we would with them in Hitman for instance. The guy would come over and investigate. But like it was other problems right for balancing the game. So that was quite early of a decision, that we do not put anything extra that we not need into the real time. And as you can see, the attention circles here now, as long as you stay out of them you have the advantage, right? And that communicates very very clearly The idea, with the awareness zones that glow red as you approach, was that this should be a tense moment, but that you should not feel stressed about it. So to speak, you should feel like you have the time to track out the guy coming in on a patrol here, and see what's behind him, etc. before setting up. If it were vision cone based, for instance, that vision cone might just bang, come all of a sudden as he steps from behind a building, a car, or something. Restaurant, we did not want to make it something too skill-based. Basically, when you sneak around, it should be more about making a tactical decision, rather than being stressed and making quick decisions. Morally, it was always a design that we wanted the stealth to not be twitch gameplay, because the game is not twitch gameplay at all. The game is very much about planning and making good tactical decisions, so the stealth had to feel like it was fitting that quite well. So the stealth in this game is much more about you finding good positions and working out, maybe there's someone who's isolated that I can pull down without anyone else seeing. The very start of the game that you are just seeing now is very much designed to be a general introduction to stealth. So extremely obvious patrols of guys with low health walking around on their own. It's not very taxing. It's not very challenging. And the characters, when they talk, they heavily hinting at least 2 or 3 times that we should investigate who's here, and we should sneak around first. So I would say that the first 20 minutes of the game is gently pushing the player into this kind of play style, rather than us hitting them with a hammer, if that makes sense. Scaring, in user research about a month ago, or something, it was one of the things we probably did not communicate enough. We'd have added some tutorial messages around this, because if you do not figure it out rather quickly, the levels can become quite hard later down the line. Because we really wanted you to scout out these positions, you do not always have to pick off everybody around the map, but at least figure out that they are there. When more advanced units stepped into the zone that can help other units and such, it's very important that you know about these units, or they will surprise you. Morally, it was also important that the stealth does not become boring in the game, because this pattern, in the start of the game, you repeat that too much it'll start to get stale. So in the game's balancing, the enemies that get harder the further in the zone you get, and the enemy's health will slowly start to track ahead of your stealth weapons. So at some point in the game you are going to start having to use multiple characters with stealth weapons to kill an enemy, or make use of your mutations that allow you to do double damage, or crit damage, and stuff like that to be able to pull off a stealth kill. Scaring, so it's actually now, you are out of combat, but will have a critical hit and a regular one, and that was the balance you were talking about. It's kind of in layers. That balance, it's quite nice. Where during the mid-game you have to start doing critical hits with your silent weapons, in order to take these struggling characters out, or these outliers. So it becomes a little bit deeper to do it, which is quite nice. And towards the end, you will have to use basically all the tricks in the book, if you want to take anybody out on the outskirts. Scaring, first of all, of course, we are also cheating behind the scenes, because people do not understand percentages very well, so a 75% shot here is a bit higher, right? We will also do a few tricks on the eye side, where if they hit you they will actually have less chance next time, and such, so you do not get into the streaks of the enemy feeling super powerful just because they got a Lokiran. You need to do a couple of these things, specifically around 50%, right? You should not be taking those shots reeling. You should not be taking 25% shots in ensemble reeling. People expect for 25% shots to be hit, So one way of doing that then of course, is to add a bit when you miss. So we have a few of those tricks going on behind the scenes. But I think it does not deter anything from the game. We added more along the lines of we felt it was needed. It's better that the game feels fair than that it is fair. Really, especially the hardest thing to do in these games is to make them feel fair. Scaring, yet, and Lee was also very early on with defining the percentages. We looked at Mario Rabbids, I think. Really, yet, they do 150, which is more extreme than with scaring, but we went with the system in between.